Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our webinar on the European Collaborative Cloud for Cultural Heritage. We are truly delighted to see such a high number of participants join today, and we thank you for your interest and also for the engagement in this very evolving and ambitious initiative. My name is Maria Claudia Bodino, and I will be your moderator for today. Let me briefly walk you through the agenda, and we should also see a slide with all the main points for today's agenda. We will begin with a welcome from Katia Reppe, our Head of Unit of Democracy, Equality and Culture in DG RTD from the European Commission, followed by an update from the ECOS project coordinator, Xavier Rodier. Then my colleague Ricard will present the current open calls on innovative use cases on the cloud. And after that, we start hearing a lot of exciting projects that are actively contributing to the development and also to the use of the cloud. Finally, we'll open the floor for a very extended Q&A session where we will start answering your question, the one that you submitted in the past days. And also we will start answering the question you are going to post and let's say share with us in the Q&A widget in the Zoom tool that you can see on the top I think bottom right part of the video, if I'm not wrong. With that, I'm very happy to give the floor to Katia to open.
Sorry, Maria Claudia, can you see my screen?
No.
Okay. Because I was sharing the agenda. Sorry, let me just share it. Just a moment.
Maybe in order not to waste your precious time, I could say a couple of welcome words while you are struggling with getting the PowerPoints visualized. So thank you very much, Maria Claudia, for your introduction. I'm Katia Reppe, the Head of Unit for Democracy, Equality and Culture in DG Research and Innovation of the European Commission. And I would like to welcome everyone to this webinar on the Cultural Heritage Cloud Call 2025. It's great to see so many participants from across Europe and beyond, united by a passion for cultural heritage preservation and digitization. The purpose of today's webinar is to provide a clear, up-to-date overview of how future projects funded under the 2025 Cultural Heritage Cloud Call of Horizon Europe's Cluster 2 will integrate with existing initiatives, and is also aiming to ensure transparency and equal access to relevant information for all prospective applicants and stakeholders. A couple of words about the Cultural Heritage Cloud. It's an ambitious research initiative supported by around 110 million from Horizon Europe under the cluster Culture, Creativity and Inclusive Society. It offers a platform and an open digital infrastructure for multidisciplinary and multi-sectoral collaboration on cultural heritage, connecting cultural heritage professionals and researchers. The cloud enables collaboration, co-creation, and access to advanced digital tools. It aims to remove barriers for small and remote institutions to benefit from digital technologies. The cloud developed around 3 big steps, or rather 3 big calls for proposals. The first one was launched in 2023. It set up the cloud infrastructure, the engine, the basic architecture and governance for the cloud, including a steering and coordination entity. And you will hear a lot from it. It's the so-called ECOS project. In 2024, the next call was about innovative tools. It closed a while ago, and we are now on the last meters of the evaluation before the winners of that call for proposals can be announced very soon. And finally, in 2025, the last call with some 26 million is about innovative use cases, and that is now open for submission and the reason for organizing this webinar. the focus of our webinar today is to hear from the ECHOS Consortium and the first 3 projects on tools regarding the latest developments and integration plans. The ECHOS project started about a year ago in June 2025. It's developing the cloud infrastructure. And the first 3 tool projects, as we call that, are Automata, about archaeological digitization. It seeks to enhance the documentation and analysis of archaeological objects by enabling low-cost and time-efficient digitization. The second tools project is called Textiles. It's about textile digitization, and its goal is to redefine the digitization of cultural heritage textile objects and the development of AI-based processing tools aiming to establish a standardized protocol that seamlessly integrates into the cloud. Advanced tools that address the entire digitization lifecycle of textile objects using robotic and cost-effective multi-sensor solutions are also being developed. And the third of the tools project is called Heritalize, Heritage Buildings and Objects Digitization. Heritalize will transform raw data into valuable insights, connecting everything in a knowledge graph for easy exploration and focusing on research to develop advanced digitization techniques and solutions for documenting and representing diverse cultural heritage assets. Much like Wikipedia, users can follow links to discover detailed research findings and relationships related to each cultural heritage object. So today's webinar is an opportunity for potential applicants to gather information and prepare proposals for the 2025 Cloud Call. The deadline is September 16th. As Maria Claudia has said, you will have the chance to ask all your questions in a live Q&A session. While you are listening to the following presentations, you may already submit your questions via the chat, I think it is, the tool which has...
It is, sorry, Katia, to step in. To submit live your questions, you can use the Zoom question and answer feature. You will find the button on the bottom in your Zoom menu. So you can upload your questions there, and we will then address them during the question and answer session, yes, while the chat is disabled. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Claudio, for the precision. So please, the Q&A tool, which you see in the Zoom surface. And with that, thanks again for joining. Looking forward to a productive session shaping the future of Europe's cultural heritage digital infrastructure. And with that, I give the floor to Xavier Rodier, the project coordinator of ECHOS. Please, over to you.
Thank you very much, Katia. I think it's Ricard first, no?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was to have a quick word also from your side, Xavier, and then Ricard, but we can reverse the order. It's not a problem.
So I start, or?
Yes. Let's move on to the following slide then. So thanks a lot for this occasion to take part in this very interesting, I believe, webinar. So I'm Ricard Buch from the Directorate General of Research and Innovation of the European Commission, and I'm working, among other things, on this particular Collaborative Cloud for Cultural Heritage initiative, together with Maria Claudia and together with Katja, who gave you the welcome. To kick off the webinar, and give me maybe a couple of minutes, I hope, to put the current open call topic in context. And my first point here is maybe what you see on the slide, I hope. The Horizon Europe supports the establishment of the Collaborative Cloud through 3 different calls. The 2023 call supports the establishment of the basic architecture of the platform, of the governance of the entire initiative, including also central coordination of all projects to be funded under the following calls. This is where ECHOS comes from, our co-host for today's webinar. as well as the other 3 projects that will also be present in this webinar today. The 2024 call is supporting the development of a set of basic user tools for the cloud platform, and that will make it accessible and make it useful to end users. And the proposals under this call are currently being evaluated. The 10 resulting projects will probably start activities sometime this autumn after the summer. And a little teaser is that we are working on publishing small, short summaries of these, let's say, preliminarily elected proposals, and publish them relatively soon on the funding and tenders portal in order to give more information to those of you who are working on an application to the 2025 call. And this is the 2025 call, is the 3rd phase, the last of the 3 phases. It is recently open, and as Katja mentioned, deadline 16th of September sharp at 17:00 Brussels time, so don't be late. It aims at supporting use cases on the platform in order to perform end-to-end testing and to improve the platform and confirm and comply that it works great for the end users. So this is where we are today. Let's move to the next slide. Then my second point here. In total, there will be more than 20 projects and 20 European framework program collaborative projects that together constitute the collaborative cloud implementation effort. To a great extent, these projects will be running in parallel. So we are now in the 1st year, so 1 year into the 5-year implementation effort, which will be running until the summer 2029. 4 projects, as I mentioned, are already running, ECHOs and 3 tools projects. And after the summer, as I also said, 10 more projects will start their activities. And simultaneously, the end-to-end testing proposals will be received in September. The evaluations will start, and the projects, we believe, will start in the autumn next year, 2026. So what really matters in order to make the cloud initiative a success is what all these projects achieve together. So coordination and a certain measure of flexibility are very important aspects in this context. Let's move to the next slide. And this is my 3rd point. A couple of words about what is the purpose of the currently open call topics. So they could summarize the purpose with these 3 bullet points. The idea is that through demanding end-to-end testing of real-world user cases, we should identify and also implement improvements on the platform. We should ensure that the platform works seamlessly without glitches for the purposes it will really be used for. And we contribute to make the capacity and the usefulness of the Cultural Heritage Cloud widely known also among our target users. So I think this is really a great opportunity for those interested. It can be, and we hope many institutions will aim to participate in this effort. So let's move on to the following slide. And this is my last point with a few details on the currently open call topic, and I will not go in much into these details. There's more other information available for you in this, but just to clarify a few issues. There's only one call topic, so only one call to apply to, but under this topic, we hope to fund several projects, up to 8 projects. There's a lot of freedom for applicants to define the best use cases to end-to-end test the cloud platform, but there are also a few conditions. And the first conditions is that it has to be real use cases aimed really about to improve results or work processes in your organizations by using the collaborative cloud. The second point is that proposals should be designed in a way that make use of several of the important features and functionalities of the cloud. And the third point is that a wide end user engagement is expected, which perhaps is normal with this focus on the call topic. And my 4th point here is that the consortium should have its own capacity to implement improvements and fix problems detected. It's not the scope of the project is not limited to detect issues and improvement potential, it should also help implement them. And of course, proposals cannot repeat activities that have already received funding on the previous collaborative cloud projects. This is also a condition to take into account. So with this, I thank you very much for bearing with me, for your attention, and let's move on to the really interesting part of this webinar. Thank you.
So thank you, Maria Claudia. Thank you very much to Katja Ripple for their introduction and to Richard Bugs for this presentation of the ECCH initiative and the current call for project. I think you all know what ECOS is since you are here, and I know you are waiting for answer about the status of the Cultural Heritage Cloud. Before answering to your question, Dimitri Kotsinos and I will give you an update on the work in progress and what the next steps are. First of all, I would like to remind you that the ECOS mission is to set up the Cultural Heritage Cloud as a shared platform designed to facilitate collaboration among heritage professionals and researchers, providing them to access to data, scientific resources, training, and advanced digital tools tailored to their needs. Our objectives are to build an open source infrastructure, to move away from an object-focused approach to an holistic approach, including both tangible and intangible cultural heritage, to bring together fragmented communities around the Cultural Heritage Cloud, to integrate results past a current and future cultural heritage-related project, to deliver a sustainable and inclusive legal entity for the European Collaborative Cloud for Cultural Heritage, and finally, to enable foster innovative and collaborative co-creation of new knowledge around the digital commons. Next slide, please. As you all have noticed, one of the challenges for ECOS is to set up the Cultural Heritage Cloud while integrating the project that feed into it. On our side, we have to plan for the integration of your project without knowing what they are, while on your side, you are waiting for requirement in order to configure your project. Integration is therefore a key issue. We have considered integration at several levels, from within ECOS to the outside, and from the local to the international level, taking into account relationships with existing infrastructure. At the center is ECOS, the distributed architecture of the cloud, with the three applications we are developing on the services offered by Cultural Heritage Cloud. Within the broader community, including existing datasets, tools, and workflow. Next, the Cultural Heritage Cloud will be powered by around 50 projects supported by ECOS cascading grants and around 20 projects funded by Horizon Europe. Beyond that, other projects on cultural heritage and partnership with local, national, and European initiatives will complement the Cultural Heritage Cloud. Next slide, please. To implement this multi-level integration, we have created an integration task force, we are adding projects as they become available. Its objective is to structure the Cultural Heritage Cloud around ECOS application and services, community tools, and the output of European Collaborative Cloud call project. The ECOS Integration Task Force defines the integration strategy. In addition, at the end of the year, the Integration Task Force will a roadmap for integration into the Cultural Heritage Cloud. In addition, ECOS governance includes a stakeholder council bringing together all the sister project coordinators. Next slide, please. The Cultural Heritage Cloud is not just ECOS project. We must build it together. The unique originality of this initiative is that it is a single cloud built from 21 projects. Today, ECOS on the first three sister projects cover 20 countries in Europe and beyond. Tomorrow, with the project that are coming and those that you will propose, this number will increase even further. At the end, when the cloud is fully implemented in 2029, I hope that we will cover the vast majority of Europe. I will now hand over to Dimitris and give the floor to Dimitris, who will present the architecture of the Cultural Heritage Cloud on the timeline.
Thank you, Xavier. I'm Dimitris Koginos. I'm from CNRS and CY Paris University. And I suppose it's pretty clear to everyone that building the cloud, building the ECCH ecosystem is a task with multiple dimensions that reach out from the infrastructure itself to the software components and from the data to the communities involved and the longer term sustainability of the project. Next slide. Basically, the ECCH infrastructure will be building on two dimensions at large. One that is the actual cloud backbone and another one that is the conceptual backbone based on what we will describe shortly as the heritage digital twin ontology that would allow us to organize and further on search, retrieve, and contextualize the data, metadata, and paradata that we will have, while we can support distributed and federated storage and processing. Next slide, please. Starting from the conceptual part, we are in the process of building the digital commons knowledge base, which is based on the heritage digital twin ontology, a preliminary version of which you can find already online. The proposed ontology will be there to help us describe and organize information that pertains to digital twins, defines the main concepts and the vocabulary to be used, is built to be extensive, relies on industry standards, and we hope that like that we will also facilitate connections to external data sources, for example, the European data spaces that are being built at the same time. Next slide, please. To give you an overview of the architecture of the cloud for cultural heritage that is being built by ECOS, as you can see in the picture, we start from the single entry point, which covers already the way that we see the users entering the cloud and using its resources. We plan to follow up after the single entry point and of course after authorization and authentication and security requirements being met to the knowledge graph, which would be a way to organize the information and search on it and find what you need. And it will include aspects like workflows, data provenance, data quality, and more. And through mappings, it will guarantee connections to external sources like the data spaces, Europeana, and others, which would allow us to give to the other applications, to the other projects, one single way to use data that are distributed in different places. Of course, we should not forget the applications that we are building, the so-called vertical applications. As already described by Xavier, we are going to integrate projects coming from cascading grants and the other ECCH project funded by the EU. One big part also of the effort has to do with supporting the monitoring, the evaluation of the processes, because we need to know also how the cloud is being used, by whom, and what needs to be fixed. In a more, next slide, please. In a more detailed view of the actual technical architecture, we can easily identify the fact that we will need to be able to support personal spaces for the users, which will be supporting, will be allowing the storage of metadata and actual data to connect to external storages, as I said, managing resources, including computational resources, node availabilities, and of course, specific processing, for example, like the need of GPUs for AI-based models. Next slide, please. All that is tailored towards achieving or reaching the different dimensions that I briefly mentioned in the beginning, which means that we want an architecture that is modular and flexible, that supports interoperability but without loss of efficiency, that guarantees security, and allows us to be accountable and fair towards the data and the processes that are running. Next slide, please. You can see here some descriptions that detail a little bit the different components that we are starting putting in place. These are preliminary descriptions that allow you to get a better understanding while you are thinking about your own project, or you are thinking of how to integrate your application to the cloud. Next slide, please. These descriptions are also available online, and we've recently set up a public GitHub for the project that you can access and carries this information. I need to clarify that whatever you find there is still a very preliminary version and not directly usable because, of course, we have not opened up anything yet that would allow you to experiment with it. This will happen gradually, as you can see in this first timeline that we have on the slide, with main developments starting becoming public mainly from November 25 and on. Next slide, please. So to conclude, we are trying to streamline development and advance in parallel on different fronts. We generally see having 6 months release cycles for all the different parts that we are mentioned. And of course, the sister projects need also to help us in this effort by participating in the integration task force that Xavier already mentioned, but also providing requirements and at the end following the guidelines when we will publish them. Thank you.
And if I can add the next slide, yes, thank you. To conclude, the success of course depends on effectively engaging a diverse range of stakeholders. This group each with unique needs, roles, and contributions from the backbone of the project ecosystem. By addressing their specific requirement and setting up meaningful integration, ECOS will build a robust collaborative platform that support cultural heritage preservation, research, and innovation. If you haven't already done so, you can help us to build the Cultural Heritage Cloud by responding to the open consultation, which is open until today, but which we can extend a little for you. This will ensure that the Cultural Heritage will be built for and with the communities, for and with the stakeholders. The added value of the Cultural Heritage Cloud is based on its infrastructure design, which for user, offering a single entry point, guaranteed data quality and fair publication data and services, and finally to share digital commons. Thank you. And I think now, I don't know if I give the floor for the next, or if Maria Claudia, you want to give some more.
No, I think it's perfect as we described in the
So
agenda. So let's move forward with the presentation. And thanks a lot for this very useful update about the core engine of the cloud that is Ecos. Let's give now the floor to Gabriele. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting us and for the opportunity of being from the beginning of this in this great adventure of creating the ACCCH together with all these colleagues. I'm Gabriele Gattiglia. I'm from the University of Pisa, and I'm a digital archaeologist, and I'm also the coordinator of Automata project. Next, please. The overarching goal of Automata is to create a system for the enhanced and enriched digitization of archaeological objects in the sense of pottery and lithics. The idea is to create a robotic work cell that is able to create 3D models and to attach to them enhanced data coming from archaeometry, and also having the possibility to create for the first time big data in archaeology. The next, please. The Automata is led by a very big consortium composed of 13 between research units and small and medium enterprises coming from the UK, France, Belgium, Italy, Spain, Croatia, and Israel. Let's move to the next. Thank you. The project is a 54-month project that started on September 24 and will end on February 2029. So we are now still in the first year, and the main goals we achieved now are related to the overall design, and we are starting the creation of the work cell now. Please move the animation. Thank you. The next one. One of the first goals is to provide advanced technological solution for create accurate 3D model that could also contain archaeometric analysis coming from different sensors, from hyperspectral images to XRF and Raman spectroscopy. Next, for doing this, we would like to create a robotic work cell that is able to create all this data in an efficient way. The idea, the next please, is to have for the first time ever in archaeology a real big data collection. The aim is to create at least 10,000 data related to ceramics and lithics. Next. This system will be also related to AI application from the beginning, which means for the acquisition of the data, but also for the analysis of the data in order to cluster the data and analyze them, not just through appearance or geometry, but also on the base of the data collected by sensor. The next, all the data collected will be preserved in open data repository through the help of the ADS of York, and all will be available and accessible through the ACCH platform that the ECOS project is going to build. Obviously, the next, please. This will also mean to develop enough skills for operating in this new environment. So a big effort will be on training the personnel in doing this new automatic digitization. But next, A great effort during the project will also be dedicated to the engagement of a big and huge audience made not only by researchers but also by citizens in order to enhance and to improve the use of this data, of this complex archaeological data for many different aims, starting from museums, but also for education. Next one. And if you can start the animation here. Anyway, this is the last one. And
I don't have animations here.
Okay, no problem. So welcome to the machine, and thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. You can follow us on our website and on our social media. So thank you.
Thanks a lot. Now I will say let's go to the second presentation from Gabriele to textile, and thanks Michael for showing us your project and also how the other can participate and contribute to you. Thank you.
Yes, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I will apologize for my voice because it's not as good as it should be, but I hope you can understand me fine. So let's move on to presenting Heritalize project. This is a 4.2 million euros plus a 0.8 million euros funded by the UK. We have 17 partners from different 7 countries. And it lasts 48 months, 4 years. The full title of Heritalize project is this one you can see: Heritage Buildings and Objects Digitalization and Visualization within the Cloud. So we move on to the next one. We have many different challenges, goals, and that will lead to different outputs and impacts. But in a nutshell, we plan to capture both visible and non-visible or hidden cultural heritage features, putting them together and integrating them within the ECC-CCH through a scalable and web-based platform that will enable this European network of institutions to share, access, and enhance digital resources for the preservation and research of cultural heritage as a whole. Next one, please. So we have different objectives that you can see here, 7 overall, sorry, 6 overall, that then lead to the pillars of research and development that we will see later on. But anyway, in a nutshell, this is the review and protocols and the state of the art, then the advanced data acquisition and the afterwards AI-powered post-processing of these raw data. Then these 2 previous ones lead to these hardware and software solutions and or services based on the data that has been captured. Then obviously we aim at providing these services based on as much interoperability and sharing capacity as possible. And then in the end, we aim at maximizing the impact and dissemination of these tools and services and all the technologies we bring into the project. Next one. So we have these different impacts. I don't want to just spend too much time on this because I have little time, but anyway, we want to offer for example, 70% greater access to a fair-based ecosystem and deliver 50% cost savings in the maintenance of all the data that can be generated and acquired and hosted by in terms of cultural heritage. Next one. Yeah, well, anyway, just more impacts we want to achieve. Next one, please. And then I would like to stop a little bit on. I mentioned before the objectives that were 6, and they lead to different pillars of research and development. Okay, again, we have these cultural heritage digitalization requirements and methodology definition based on the state-of-the-art analysis. Then we have pillar number 2 in terms of digitalization tools definition, development, and testing at lab scale. Then we have when all these digitization tools are implemented and we have the raw data, we will have it post-processed, supported by AI tools in Pillar 3. And then we will create these cultural heritage data services development based on multiple cultural heritage data. So we will have lots of different data, heterogeneous in different formats and so on, and we plan to put them all together into a single unified web-based platform, which in Pillar 5, we aim at making interoperable and make it boost its integration or make it integrating with the ECCCH. And finally, again, in Pillar 6 is the replication and scalability strategies based on heterogeneous demonstration and validation, which will give way later on to the 4 demonstration sites that we bring into the project. Next one. Okay, all of these that I've said before in terms of the pillars of research and development are summarized here. And this is a very complex, but at the same time, very complete slide where you can see all the different concepts, solutions, technologies, services, etc., that we want to put together. I think this is a very interesting slide to show because it clearly demonstrates the complexity of the building, of the project, and why we need, amongst other things, 4 full years to carry out this project. Okay, I won't extend myself too much because I will be kind of repeating myself a little bit, but you can see here the GOs, the general objectives, which are linked with the pillars of research and development and all the different, again, tools, services, solutions, etc., that we want to put together. Next one, please. And now we will move on to the last slides of my presentation, I believe, which focus on the demonstration side. We have 4 of them. The first 2 are in the UK, in Scotland. First one here is West Highland Museum. Here we aim to digitize the Jacobite and Carmichael collections, also digitize the museum, the building itself, and also in the end allow for these digital exhibits through AR, VR, XR. Next one, please. So also in Scotland we have the Helmsdale. This one is interesting because its scope is not only on the building itself and the town of Helmsdale, but on the region. Okay, so we are tackling here a more vast geographic scope of a demonstration site. Okay, we have obviously the object collection, but we have the Kildare and late landscape. So we are talking about cultural heritage that spreads across a huge region and a huge amount of space. Anyway, we will also tackle services such as the AR, VR, XR, but here the one of the complex parts and also important and an interesting dimension is this part about the geographic spread of cultural heritage. Next one, please. The third one is the Reggia di Venaria Reale in Turin, Italy. This is a huge also demonstration. It's a building with its objects within, but also not only the building but the gardens surrounding it. Okay, this villa, let's say, will aim at digitizing again this building, the objects within, and the gardens around, plus the objects and cultural heritage assets that are in the surrounding area. Okay, again, aim is to integrate digitize objects within and carry out these services, not only the AR, VR, XR, but also the conservation of cultural heritage through one platform that will be integrated into the digital twin environment, and that is the conservation module by one of our partners. Next one, please. And finally, we have the Villa Portelli in Calcara, Malta. Okay, this is a historic building where we plan to record memories of former BP workers, especially around significant changes in the villa's landscape. That's important towards what I said before, extending the digital twins to memory twins. Okay, we talk a lot about building information modeling, then about heritage building information modeling, HBIM, but in the end, we will be speaking about HBIM, holistic HBIM modeling, which will give way to the memory twins. Okay, again, we plan to combine lots of digitization techniques like LiDAR, photogrammetry, laser scanning, and reflective transformation. Before I think this is the last slide of my presentation. This is the team, our consortium. Just before we end, I've mentioned different services. One of the ones I haven't mentioned is that we will be carrying out 3D printing of certain cultural heritage assets or objects that are important to be 3D printed because for different reasons, maybe because they are not reachable by the tourist or by the normal visitor of certain cultural heritage, or because maybe making that cultural heritage travel across Europe is not a possibility. So through 3D printed replica, we can. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Michael. It's now time for the last presentation, textiles, and then we go to the Q&A session. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Also from my side. My name is George Ioannakis. I'm from the Athena Research Center, where I'm a researcher, and specifically my research interests are in machine learning and modeling of multidimensional data. And I'm here in order to present Textiles, which the full title is Textile Digitization Tools and Methods for Cultural Heritage. Next slide, please. Yes, we're a consortium of 10 partners. We have 7 from European countries and 1 from non-EU, specifically Switzerland. And next slide, please. So the goal of Textiles is to build the methodological foundations for digitizing CH textile objects, and in order to produce protocols in terms of technological means like AI, machine learning-based tools, and in general methodological workflows in order to deal with textile objects. All that in order to offer back to the community, to the scientific community, through the ECCCH platform. So what we want is to utilize current practices in terms of digitization and apply them in the domain of textile objects, and also deliver AI tools that will be focused on that specific type of object. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, all those tools and those digitization protocols that we want to define within the textiles projects are going to cover the whole life cycle of a digitized version of a textile object. So our innovation lies in delivering AI specialized tools in the analysis of those objects, and in order to enhance the work of persons that work within the cultural heritage domain, and specifically on the textile domain. Next slide, please. So in order to offer back, we attempt to also have educational activities that are going to be focused on humanity professionals and scientists, also for students, so at the university level, and also for the textile industry professionals. In order to give a slight overview, we have 8 use cases that stem from a variety of countries and categories. So I have just one second. We have one use case that is Greek ancient that has inside Greek ancient textiles, a textile collection from Pompeii, Greek Bronze Age clay ceilings, textile imprints on the human plaster cast from Pompeii, the objects from the Benaki Museum collection in Greece, from the Turku Cathedral Museum collection in Finland, and from the Opera Theatre in Rome, and finally, hand and machine-made embroidery and laces from the St. Gallen Museum in Switzerland. The last bullet is about the tools. Just 1 second. We have 14 tools, 8 of which are AI-based, and the rest are there again to support, for example, the 3D viewer annotator, which we are enhancing and working on. That was the Atom one. That's the one that we work on. Next slide, please. So yes, and 1 click more. Practically, we're now in month 10 of our project, and we're happy to be the first project that will deliver the tools to the ECCH. Since we are a 3-year project, so that means that we have to do all the integration and all the communication, as also Dimitris and Xavier mentioned with the ECOS project. So that's from my next slide, please. So that's the team that we have. It's a multidisciplinary team. And next slide. So in order to not give just a glance, we have included a presentation of our project that is here in this link. If anyone wants to learn more about the project and its use cases and all the tools that we're going to deliver, he can find it here, and we're happy to discuss about any of those tools later. Thank you very much.
Just to mention that, of course, these slides will be made available via the ECOS website together with the recordings of this event.
Thank you very much for this amazing presentation. Let's now move to probably the most interesting part of the interactive webinar for today. The idea is to start answering the question from ECOS side. Luis will manage all the questions that we received in the previous days. Then us, Commission, will answer that questions that are more related to calls and also more bureaucratic and administrative aspects. And then we will go through the questions that you just posted in the Q&A part. So thanks a lot. And we have a lot of experts answering this question. We have Alexandra Novak, Sorin Hermon, Paolo Cignoni, and Carlos Andujar. Thanks a lot for your time and also for your help. Luis, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria Claudia. So we will now move to the question and answer session, and we will start by answering the questions that were submitted ahead of this webinar. So let's start with the first question, which is related to the integration technical aspects. And so what are the guidelines for integrating tools into the Cultural Heritage Cloud? Are there APIs? So for this question, I will direct it to Dimitris Kotsinos.
Thank you, Luis. There would be, as Xavier briefly mentioned, and myself as well, there would be guidelines to integrate at different levels into the Cultural Heritage Cloud. There will be definitely APIs that would support that, and this is one way to foster integration. We are started publishing this slowly. There are some examples already, as I mentioned, in the GitHub repository that I showed during the presentation. Mainly, we will start having something that works more from November 25. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dimitris. So to continue, we will address 3 questions that are also related to the integration aspects, but more related to the partnership side. So which other cloud systems are expected to be integrated in the project? Would it be possible to explore the connection between the cloud and digital games? And finally, is the Europeana content going to be linked under the ECCH? And for those questions, I will give the floor to Xavier Rodier.
Thank you, Louise. This first interesting question probably refers to the data space for tourism. In fact, the Cultural Heritage Cloud covers the broadest possible definition of cultural heritage, including both tangible and intangible aspects. Therefore, whenever a subject relates to cultural heritage, connection and integration are possible and desirable in order to enrich digital heritage assets as digital commons. In addition, the Cultural Heritage Cloud will enable reuse by all stakeholders, including, of course, the tourism stakeholders. About the digital games, this related question is also interesting because we recently had the opportunity to talk with a cluster of projects working on gaming. This one of the areas of focus for Cultural Heritage Cloud, which needs to work collaboratively to explore the potential for reusing digital cultural heritage assets for gaming, but also as part of the Cultural Heritage Cloud business model and to ensure its sustainability. And for the last one, this question which allow to clarify this point. Europeana is one of ICO's partners involved since the beginning of the construction of the project. Of course, there is a link between Europeana and the cultural heritage data space on the one hand, and the Cultural Heritage Cloud on the other. We have begun work to define and implement workflow between the two platforms in order to enable two-way access and, above all, to avoid redundancy, both in terms of data and for the work of the stakeholders. That's it for me.
Thank you, Xavier. So we can continue to the next slide. Thank you. And we have received a really interesting question about tools that are currently available or under development within this ECCH. So for this question, I would like to redirect first to Dimitris Kotsinos and then to our 3 sister projects coordinators. So first, let's start with Dimitris, please.
Okay, thank you, Luis. For the question about the tools, at the application level, ECOS has foreseen the development of the 3 vertical applications that were listed in the presentation earlier. Their development will be there to provide some desired functionalities, but also to allow us to vertically test all aspects of the cloud that will be available. Besides that, we will also offer a list of services that other applications can use as tools to do specific tasks, for example, to search, to find data and metadata, to retrieve other data from external repositories, as was discussed just before, and so on. The sister projects also will develop tools that would allow us to build an ecosystem that is interoperable, that would also provide different choices to the users and would allow them to do their work in a collaborative way. Thank you.
Thank you. And on that point, Gabriele Gattaglia, as coordinator of Automata, would you like to add any comments?
Just a few words. The fact is that all the hardware, all the software we are going to realize will be deliverable as openly accessible and open source. And now, as I said, we are just at the beginning of the creation of the system. Anyway, we are working on developing the system for manage the 3D models together with all the data related to archaeometry, which is a kind of 3D GIS for small objects.
Thank you, Gabriele. And on Erytholize side, Michael Boras, would you like to add any comments on that? Yeah, actually, if not, I'm going to ask the same question to George Ioannikis, sorry, for the Taste Sites project.
Yes, thank you very much. So from our side, we are gonna deliver a lot of, as I said, 8 tools. Maybe one that could be of common interest is that we intend to create a global platform for machine learning applications so that anyone can use with a minimal effort and background in machine learning the platform in order to upload his data set, perform his annotations, and then choose the task that he wants to do in order to train his models and take his results. So that with our project, we intend to use this platform in order to have multimodal surface morphology and microstructures analysis, surface degradation, have a digital twin that will be focused on the conservation side and provide alerts for conservation of textiles. Always, we intend to expand the capabilities in order to meet the needs of our project of the 3D annotator and viewer from Aton, and also a robotic device that will be a UGV equipped with several sensorial arrays in order to digitize automatically an object, a type of object, a costume, like a mannequin. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's continue with the next topic on technological readiness level and applications. So those questions refers more to the ECCH to the call. So I would like to give the floor to Richard Bucks for these questions.
Now I'm not sure which question you refer to. You didn't switch slides, no?
Oh, actually, this is the second one. Tier all of the tools
yes.
to be made available.
I can answer briefly to say that in the framework of the call topics of the collaborative cloud for cultural heritage, we do not specify a TRL level. That's true, but we are expecting the testing to be done on something which is really functional. So no specific TRL level established, but we need to work on applications which are ready for end users. So not partly developed, not early prototypes. I hope this is answering the question. If not, you are happy to come back.
Yeah, thank you. The Q&A chat is still open, so feel free to add any questions and we will answer them at the end of the pre-submitted questions. So our next questions relate to the use cases, and actually for this question, I will ask again Richard Bucks for some answers, please.
So this is an interesting question which we have received also during the information day on the 15th of May. So the focus of this call topic is to mainly to use the cloud platform and the tools which are being developed. But if implementing a specific use case, there is a need to complement these in some ways. It's eligible. It would be eligible for an applicant to propose something like this. But it's the purpose of the call topic is not tool development per se. So the question is not entirely black and white. It depends on the focus of your project, and if in the frame of this project it is necessary to complement, to develop some kind of complement to the functionality that exists, it would be eligible in the frame of this topic.
Thank you very much,
I hope
Ricard.
this is answering both the both questions here.
Thank you. And in any case, we will still answer questions at the end of this question, so please free to ask. And so we continue with next questions about services. And the first one, where we can find the specification of services going to be released by the cloud. So for this question, I will leave the floor to Dimitris Kotsinos.
Thank you. We are going to publish specifications, as I already mentioned, on GitHub. That's the main channel of disseminating the technical part of the information. But we also have a very live and alive section of frequently asked questions on the website. If you check frequently, we will update that with at least when something is updated and put on GitHub. As I said, also the date where we will start publish more specification is foreseen for mainly November of 2025. But we have started already providing some examples that are a bit more advanced than the others. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitris. And let's continue with the question, is semantic search going to be available? And for this one as well, I will request your opinion on this question, Dimitris, please.
So the plain answer to this one is yes. We are going to provide various advanced search methods, and we hope that this would facilitate the applications to provide also advanced functionalities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And how do the ECOS and ECCH awardees engage or plan to engage with the wider scientific computing HPC community? For that question, Dimitris and Alexandra Novak from PSSS, you are the most relevant person to answer that question.
Okay, maybe I can start. The answer is that we plan to engage a lot with the wider cloud and high performance computing community. There is a will and an idea to engage with EOSC as well. There are some of the partners that are already engaged in high performance computing projects and are running high performance computing facilities. We will definitely go down that road. There is also a dire need, as I suppose everyone understands, to have access to resources, and the HPC community also brings resources along. I can pass it to Ola if Ola, you want to add something to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, as it was already said, the ECCH infrastructure is planned to be, or is designed to be interoperable. So we're open for any kind of integration, also with Euro HPC. And additionally, the ECOS platform is hosted at PSSS, Poznań Supercomputing and Networking Center, which is actually also running one of the nodes of Euro HPC. So it gives us like a really unique opportunity for closer integration. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks to both of you. And let's continue with the last question for the services aspect. And what do you think of the use of the Circle platform? And this question goes to you again, Dimitris Kotsinos, please.
Okay, if I understand correctly, the Circle platform is a community engaging platform. So at the moment, we have not foreseen the use of the platform in the project. But given that there is a live process and engaging communities is always a big challenge, thank you for pointing this out, and we'll have a look. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitris. So next up, we have received a lot of questions about the disciplines covered by the Cultural Heritage Cloud, and such as music sector, geoconservation and geological heritage, and more general question on the integration of intangible heritage. So for that question, I would like to refer to Xavier Rodier.
Thank you, Louise. All these interesting questions could give rise to detailed answers about the relevance of Cultural Heritage Cloud, each topic or discipline. But in general, the Cultural Heritage Cloud covers the broadest possible definition of cultural heritage, as I said before, including both tangible and intangible aspects. While our definition of understanding of cultural heritage is broad and flexible, we focus on efforts on cultural heritage as defined by the UNESCO World Heritage Convention. It includes artifacts, monuments, a group of buildings and sites, museums that have a diversity of values, including symbolic, historic, artistic, aesthetic, ethnological, or anthropological, scientific, and social significance. This fully includes both tangible and intangible heritage. It covers sectors such as music, transfer, intergenerational memory, books and manuscripts, and there are many other types of tangible and intangible assets. We include natural heritage in our work when it results from combined work on nature and humans, on when it's also specific value for the historical, aesthetics, ethnological, and anthropological point of view. Whenever a subject related for cultural heritage, connection and integration, one more time, are possible and divisible in order to enrich digital heritage assets as digital commons. To my knowledge, there are no disciplinary or thematic restriction when it comes to cultural heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, Xavier. And about this aspect, Richard Burks, would you like to give some information from the European Commission's perspective? Except if, according to you, we have already a complete answer to that question. If yes, we will continue to the next topic, which is sustainability. And we have received two interesting questions on that topic, which are: how will the cost for the future hosting and maintenance of eCoasts and will work? And does the cloud foresee a marketplace where 3D files, models of heritage items can be exchanged with a market value? And for that question, I would like to ask Xavier Rodier, please, to give us few more information on that.
Thank you, Louise. These two interesting questions address the challenge for the Cultural Heritage Cloud sustainability. The business model of the ECOS platform and the corresponding legal entities that will emerge will not be based on commercializing the cloud software as we will be developed, which will be most of the cases built on top of open source existing efforts. How this business model will align with the business model of different application and service providers will be detailed later in the project in the further months. The ECOS data model makes clear and explicit licensing information a mandatory component for all data within the system. regardless of which database or data model is used. Every data set must include clear and unambiguous licensing terms that specify how the data can be accessed and used. While promoting open and fair data as core principle, supporting IPR at a different level is integral for the future development and sustainability of the Cultural Heritage Cloud. This approach ensures that both data providers and users have clarity about usage rights, fostering trust and enabling proper data governance with the ecosystem. We are currently working on a three-level sustainability model. The first level is, of course, the level of Europe, which involves the member state. The second level consists of national initiatives and institutions, with which partnerships will need to be established. The third level, which is more original, is at the regional level with local stakeholders. Indeed, regardless to the universality of heritage, its management is always territorial. This is why local actors must be directly involved. That's it for me.
Thank you very much, Xavier. And we will continue to our last pre-submitted questions regarding administrative or legal aspects of the call. And for those questions, I would like to refer and to redirect to Richard Bucks. So those questions are on the following slide. And yes, and refers to administrative questions, such as meaning of entities from at least 5 different member states. And actually that question was asked many times. And also about the organizational aspect of organization. So I will give the floor to Richard Bucks for this question.
Thank you very much, Luis. So let me start by the easy question. Can independent researchers apply for funding for a project? So under Horizon Europe, this is not possible for individuals to apply for funding. It's only institutions. So if you want to be involved in a project, you have to be a part of an institution. This said, there are no limitations on what kind of legal entities are involved in Horizon Europe projects. It can be research institutions, can be a private company, it can be a non-profit association, etc. The second question to first and last questions. Let me go on to the question of indicates that consortium partners must be active users of the ECOS platform. This does not mean that ECOS partners must be members of the consortium. It means that some partners of the consortium has to actually use the cloud platform for their purposes, for things that are useful and applied in the real activities of the partners. This is the meaning of this sentence. No? And to go back to the first sentence, 5 entities from 5 different member states should be involved as active users. Again, this refers to active use of the cloud platform within the use cases. So I hope this is clear. The 5 different member states, it's a minimum requirement. So at least entities from at least 5 different member states. And this is in order to illustrate that under this cloud topic, it is desired to have a wide user base involved from across European member states, but also from different possible types of entities, always depending on the focus of the project, the focus chosen of the project. But thanks a lot. I hope this clarifies a little bit.
Thank you very much, Ricard. And so we are done for the question we have received ahead of this webinar. So we will continue with live questions we have received here and on YouTube. So we will start we would like to start with questions regarding ECO's organization, and then we will focus on a question related to the administrative aspects. So I would like to start for a question to Xavier Rodier, which is, what is the modus operandi for coordination planning with existing ECCH projects?
Thank you, Louise, and thank you for this question. Actually, you can, of course, contact us through the email, contact email for ECOS and other way, of course. But the precise modus operandi for the integration of the other project existing in ECCH on the future one is on two main way. As I say in the presentation before, we have on one part the integration task force for all the question of how we can structure the integration of the project for the tools and services produced by the other project, on how they will be integrate in the cloud itself. Coordinator or actor of the other project will be invited to take part in this task force. And in the other way, we have also set up a stakeholder council to be make a group with all the coordinator of the ECCH project at a different level to be discussed of which kind of way, which kind of question of integration that will be useful to set up. Thank you.
Thank you, Xavier, for your answer. So we will continue with the next question. We have received here on Zoom, which is, are the tools publicly usable, available by anyone, account creation with no restriction, or only by cultural heritage professional? And which tools are publicly usable? So for that question, Paolo Signoni from GNR, would you like to give us few informations on that, please? Or if not, anyone else, like Dimitris Gotinos, for instance?
Okay, yes. So if I understood correctly, the question is about the availability of the different tools that we create. Louise?
Yes.
Okay. As it was said, I think all the tools that we create, including the services and the full code base for the cloud, would be made publicly available as they become usable, as they become available from the development side. We already showed a little bit of a plan for that, covering the next year. As we advance, we will publish more detailed information on that. The vertical applications, each one has its own timeline to develop. We will need to let's say, redirect you to the website and to the GitHub repo to be able to see for each one individually. We are going to publish there not only of course, the code, but also the timeline for availability. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitris, for your answer. And we would like to continue with the question to our ECCH sister projects, Erythrolyze Textiles and Automata. So about automata, could automata tools for the creation of 3D models can be also used for indoors spaces? And so for that question, I would like to refer to Gabriele, please.
Thank you very much for the question. Actually, the software we want to use for the 3D model is the transformation of a system that was created for indoor case uses. So definitively, yes, this system will be used for the indoor cases. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriele. So we have also received one interesting question to Erythrolyze, and which is deterioration models based on sensor data is one of the research questions we have, and Erythrolyze will be the project which could integrate its research. It is necessary to include the Erythrolyze consortium in the proposal. So I will let first Michael Borras answer to that question, and then we can also give the floor to Ricard Bux to answer that question.
Louis, can you repeat? I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
sorry.
just didn't. No.
Yeah, sorry, of course. Deterioration models based on sensor data is one of the research questions we have. Erythrolyze will be the project which could integrate its research. Is it necessary to include the Erythrolyze consortium in the proposal?
I understand the question is if we need to include Erythrolyze consortium into a proposal dealing with that.
Yeah.
Is that it, or
is that it?
Yeah. No. I don't think so.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean,
thank you.
No. The idea is that we bring solutions in that regard, but at some point. My assumption is that there will be many different services provided by different stakeholders across Europe tackling with that. So maybe we should start working on standardizing the methodology, the data structure, formats, etc., in order to make that data seamlessly integratable with different platforms across Europe and services. Yeah.
Thank you for that complete answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we sure.
Should I compliment Louise as you asked me? Okay, so there are, I would say the same as Michael. It is definitely not necessary to include the entire consortium or partners from a specific project in a new proposal. But as a general answer, because the question may resurface in different shapes. So for proposals under the current call topic, which is open now, it is not prohibited to include partners from projects that are already running under the cloud initiative. It's not prohibited, but it's also not encouraged. It's something which will depend purely on what the proposal want to achieve, which is the best partner to include here. And to include a partner is nothing that will give plus points in the evaluations. That's not the case. It will also not give negative points. But of course, what is not allowed is that activities which has already received funding under a previous project, it receives funding again. Double funding is totally prohibited under Horizon Europe. I hope this is more or less clear. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ricard. And we have gone over the scheduled time for this webinar, so we will take some extra time to answer more questions for another 15 to 30 minutes. So please free to ask questions in the Q&A box. And we would like to continue with the next question. which concerns the hosted services. And okay, I'm going to read the question and then redirect it. So will ECOS provide hosted services such as computing resources for the use cases project, or are the use case projects expected to host instances of ECOS services for the needs on their own computing infrastructure? So I think, Dimitris, you have already answered to that question before, but would you like to add more comments on that?
Okay, thank you. So in general, what we are building in ECOS cannot sustain indefinitely and for free all the needs of every project. So the idea of the planning for this is that each project should bring in infrastructure for its own needs. We will have clear guidelines on how to integrate, how to host some of the eco services if needed locally. And the important thing is that to keep in mind that we are striving to have a federated architecture that would allow a seamless integration. Now, further on, it is also a question of sustainability of the project, how many resources, how much, and in what kind of context they can be provided. But for this part, it's a bit early to provide a definite answer. So to summarize that, ECOS will try to help the projects that are in the CCH family to accommodate needs as much as possible, but we cannot guarantee that we will accommodate every need as big or as demanding they might be. So we urge the colleagues to keep this in mind when they are thinking of integrating with the cultural heritage cloud at the moment and in the development phase. Okay, for the phase of the actual deployment and running, there will be provisions for all that, I suppose, through the business plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dimitris. And we have received a kind of similar question that I would like to address to Paolo Signoni from CENAR and Carlos Andujar from UPC. So the question is, in the user experience example in the VTL tool, we read about an illustrator as a persona. Does this mean that the creative industries partners can be active end users of the platform, or they will be just a target group of the public interfaces?
Okay, if I can answer yes, professionals are users, expected users of these platforms. So it's not only platforms that are thought for researchers and people from the academia. So even for professionals who works in the cultural heritage sectors, there will be space for their activities on that platforms. For example, professionals in the field of conservation restoration could benefit from some of the vertical application that we are developing and so on.
Thank you, Paolo, for this clear answer. I don't know if Carlos, you would like to add something on that?
Well, this I completely agree with Paolo's answer, and this applies to all the tools that will be developed in the project and outside the project.
Thank you very much. So here is a new question from the audience we have just received on Zoom that I would like to direct to Sorin Herman from the Cyprus Institute. And so the question is, depositing intangible cultural assets may prove challenging in the context of interoperability. What guidance is available in terms of standard use?
Yeah, so I should answer, right? Sorry, because somebody called. Just a second.
Sure.
So there is a there is a draft deliverable which is put on ECO's teams, but I think this can be shared. The main idea is that ECOS is developing a data model based on the concept of heritage digital twin, concept which is based on existing publications that are already available in open access. And I think there are also the links to these publications are provided. The main idea is that the heritage digital twin is based on an ontology, which is also kind of an extension of CDOC CRM. So this is the very broad picture. I will summarize it. There is already a draft version of the data model that is available, which is based on development of other data models that are publicly available through open access of the relevant publications. Thank you.
Thank you, Zorin. And so for the next question, we have received it from the Q&A box. And the question is, does the ECCH data model support APR information on cultural heritage objects needed for the use cases? So for that question, Dimitris Kotsinos, I would like to give you the floor, please.
Thank you. The idea is that our data model will support IPR information. The version that you can find currently online is not advanced to that point yet. And because that's a complex matter that has also some legal consequences. But I need to say that ECOS as a project strongly suggests that we work with data that are open and are published under one of the open licenses for data usage, because that allow us to include this data in the tools that would do, for example, a search over the knowledge graph, and would allow the users to be aware and use this data in their applications. Nevertheless, because as it was discussed also earlier, there are industries where IPR data are quite important. We will do the best possible to include that in our data model and the access management that we will provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitris. And another question from the Q&A box. Will there be a centrally managed and hosted cloud storage space for small GLAM organizations? And so for that question, I think Alexandra Novak and Dimitris Kostino, it falls under your area.
Okay. I can start, Ola, or you can. Okay. So I can provide an answer based on the advancement that we have so far. So the general answer to this question is yes, we would like to be able to provide a way for small or medium institutions that lack both the hardware and also the human support to store and process their data and metadata. How we will do that, at the moment, it seems more pertinent to keep our federated way of doing things and provide a kind of a small set of services that would be required for those institutions, of course, centrally hosted and managed by ECOS. Of course, once more, part of this answer relies on what the exact business plan will be for the future legal entity that will follow ECOS. But the idea is, yes, to support as much as possible and to provide functionalities that are not currently available to small cultural heritage institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitris. And for the next question, I would like to refer to Richard Bucks. So the question is, can you already give an outlook on the projects and their tool, and which will start this autumn? That will start this autumn.
Thank you for this question, and which I sort of tried to answer again in my short presentation before. So the idea is that we will provide short, let's say, short summaries of what the 10 projects that are preliminary selected for funding under the 2024 call will be doing. So these projects are foreseen to start activities in the autumn this year. They are not yet contracted, so we cannot yet say for sure which these projects will be, what they will be doing. But we already have 10 projects which are preliminary selected for funding. And we are working on short summary presentations of these projects, which we want to publish as soon as possible, but I cannot give an exact date, but probably sooner rather than later. And these summaries will be published, or the idea is to publish them on the funding and tenders portal. So as soon as they are there, we will be try to spread the information as much as possible of where you can find these summaries. So to be seen, stay in touch, and we will get back as soon as possible. Thank you.
Ricard, this is Claudio. May I ask you to forward them when they are ready so that we can publish them on the ECOS website as well?
Definitely, we will do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricard. And actually, we have another question related to your answer. And so following the previous question on the timeline, and after having heard the presentation from our sister projects, it's quite clear that there are no tools yet to be tested at this stage. And also the basic ECCH infrastructure seems quite in the definition stage. So the question is, under these circumstances, I was wondering if the proposal in this call should develop real-world use cases, not testing existing tools, but developing solutions tools that are not already envisioned in the previously funded projects. So is that a correct interpretation of the call?
So I hope I understood the question more or less correctly. So we are, as I said, working on with an initiative with will have many projects running in parallel. That means developing their solutions in parallel. That's a reality that we need to refer to, and it was probably the least bad solution, let's say, no? So what applicants to the 25 call can, the call topic can relate to, that is, let's say, stable, sure, is the call topics, the previous call topics of the call of 2024. There, the requirements are clearly described. On a high level, yes, and not on, let's say, in a detailed level on depending on how the tools will be developed. That's not there, but what will be used for the evaluations of proposals are these texts. The proposals that are under the 25 call topic will not be evaluated based on information which is not publicly available on by the Commission. So we believe this is it will allow to define use cases that should be perfectly possible, but it also requires a certain level of flexibility built into the project in order to be able to adapt to the technical solutions and the actual details of the technical tools that will be developed in parallel to the project's use case projects. So, well, challenging, but still possible, we hope. So I hope this answer was a little bit clarifying. If not, we're happy to come back and with either answers in these sessions or written answers further on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricard. And so we just would like to move to another question related to another topic, actually, which is artificial intelligence. And I would like to refer to Dimitris Kotsinos for that question, which is, where should AI model training take place in the cloud? For transparency, for instance, or is it local training acceptable if versioning is tracked in the cloud?
Thank you. This is a very interesting question because it touches different points. So, as I said, in the cultural heritage cloud, we cannot guarantee that the resources for training all possible models for all possible applications would be constantly available. So the general guideline for that is that every project would be responsible for training their models. We will publish technical transparency guidelines that the project should follow, for example, publishing their training data, the parameters for their fine-tuning, and so on, and of course their code. So local training is acceptable, and we will need, of course, to track that quite closely, but also quite publicly, because that would be part of the information shared at the end to the users, because in general, another part of the guidelines will ask everyone to identify the use of AI and the types of AI that participate in their tools or applications or services. So I hope that answers the question overall and provides the, let's say, framework for moving forward on that. Thank you.
Thank you
If
very
I may
much.
add something, excuse me, Luis, if could be useful. We have already published the guidelines for AI use in Automata project. They are available as deliverable on our website. So this could be useful for other that would like to see how we have managed this question. So this could be a useful information, maybe. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Gabriele. And ECOS also has a couple of deliverables relating to AI, but they are not public yet. So that's why I avoided mentioning them. But yes, as I said, yes, if something is public, we will look into that, and maybe we compile something common for the ECCH environment. Thanks.
Thank you, Dimitris, and thank you, Gabriele, for your additional input. And so to continue, I just would like to add so that we will try to answer as many questions as possible for PM. And I would like to remind our participants that the frequently asked question is available on the ECOS website. So please feel free to consult our website. And let's move on to the next question that I would like to ask directly to Xavier Rodier, ECOS coordinator. And the question is, will the Cultural Heritage Cloud be operational at the start of the project?
The start?
The start of which project? The start of?
Yeah, that's the question. I think we can try to give a general answer to that question.
Yeah,
They relate to the tools, the one that are going to be published soon, and then the use cases. So basically, you can just answer when it's going to be ready, and then it's fine. Thank you.
Yes, because the full implementation will be happen in 2029 with the whole of the existing the other project. But of course, in the further months, we are make available step by step tools, services, and of course the other thing. I think there is also some question about the availability of APIs, and Dimitris had already said that it will be happen on the GitHub repository that there is still open now, but of course for that also it's step by step at the when we work at of each of the component. I'm not sure that I hope that this answers is what is expected for the question.
Thank you, Xavier. And we will consult the Q&A box to check if the person that has asked the question would like more details on that. Thank you, Xavier. And I would like to continue to a more core topic related questions that I would like to address to Richard Bux. And the question is, do proposals need to deliver fully operational integrations into the ECCH production environment, or is it sufficient to demonstrate standards compliant workflows that could be plugged in later?
Thanks for this question. So the expectation is that by the end of the particular project, at the very last, by the end of the project, the solution should be integrated into the ECOS cloud platform. This is what we let's say in principle expect. So this should be the target. Then things may always happen along the line, since we are working again with a project or an initiative consisting of more than 20 projects working in parallel. We will always have to find the best possible solutions along the line in front of issues which we cannot foresee from the start. But the target should be clear, that by the end of your project, the solutions should be integrated, fully integrated into the cloud platform. Thank you.
Sorry, may I step in, Ricard and Luis, because we are receiving questions by email as well, and they are somewhat related to what you just said and what you already presented during your presentation, Ricard, and also answered to some of the questions. So, but I think it would be useful to make it clear, and there is a general concern, I would say, about how the new proposal should take into account the fact that of course the projects are all running in parallel, as you said. So the new tools will be available only maybe next year or in the years to come, if not in the 2028. And so how should the new proposals take into account in terms of work plan and timeline the fact that the new tools are not already available? So how they can test these new tools without them be available? And another question was specifically referring to a part of the call text where it is mentioned that the new projects are expected to also fix bugs found in the tools that other projects made. And so there was a specific question how the proposal can plan for this situation, since I mean open source software can be messy, and the time to fix this kind of bugs could be unpredictable. Thank you, Ricard.
Yes, and again, let's be clear about this. There are a lot of unknowns in this project, that in this initiative, that the proposals, the applicants need to take into account in their applications, and that's why I'm also insisting there has to be a certain amount of flexibility built in order to adapt to a reality in the future that we don't know in the level of details. So in terms of the additional tools that will be implemented besides what has already been presented in this webinar, besides the ones provided by Automata, by Heritalize, and by Textiles. The short summary will be of the projects developing these tools will be published as soon as we can. So in the next weeks or days. Then these projects will be contracted and will be officially launched in the autumn. That means after the deadline to submit proposals. And then these projects will implement their tools during the coming year. So we don't, it will be, let's say, something which is doing in parallel. And this is a reality that we need to relate to. So in order to develop use cases that use such tools, what can you refer to? You can refer to what you have heard today from the three projects. You can refer to the short summaries that we are going to present soon. And you can refer to the work program where the cloud goal topics of the 2025, the work program 2024, sorry, already describe on a high level what kind of tool areas and we are referring to. This is what you can take into account when developing your proposal for the 2025 call topic on use cases, right? So on a higher level than on the detailed level, you will have to adapt further on along the execution of the projects.
Yeah.
That's the reality we are in, and it can be a little bit challenging, but it's let's say what we have to work on. There was another part question maybe, or
well, yes, the other part was about a certain section, if I mean at least those who reported this, of the call mentioning that the new project are also expecting to bug fixing the tools provided by the other projects.
Exactly. So this is also something that we cannot foresee in several ways, because we cannot foresee when you launch, when you write a proposal about use case, you cannot foresee what kind of improvements, fixes, etc. you will find. Sorry?
No,
a mistake probably. So yes, but you have still to foresee some resources, a way to provide solutions to this. So the requirement is about foreseeing resources in order to be able to react and act and provide solutions to possible problems or improvements that you will find. Not about exactly defining which will be these bug fixes to do. How much resources will I need exactly? You don't know this at the time of providing a proposal. So the proposal will be assessed by external experts based on what is, let's say, publicly known, based on the call topics that are published. This will be the basis for assessment, not in terms of detailed, let's say, possible problems that you foresee. No.
Yeah, that's clear. I think this is part of the flexibility you were mentioning before. So maybe a good suggestion for new applicants is to, as you said, reserve some resources or maybe a task aware package dedicated to, I mean, just to this, to monitor the evolution of the ECCH and be ready to adapt your own project depending on how the other projects evolve. And so reserve some time for this. And maybe I would add, if I may, if you agree, also some time to participate in joint initiatives, in meeting coordination meetings, in joint events. We already started with the free already funded projects, organizing events, workshops, or together. So I invite the applicants to to reserve some resources for this as well, and also to in terms of communication dissemination, to have a look at the guidelines that we published on the ECOS website about how to design your own visual identity websites, because we are all part of the same family ecosystem, the Cultural Heritage Cloud. So each project is expected to follow those guidelines that we published on the ECOS website. Thank you, Riccardo.
Thank you, Claudio, for these questions, and thank you, Ricard. And so actually it's almost 4 p.m. So we would like to suggest to conclude the Q&A session now, unless if one of our speakers would like to add something else. So if that works for everyone, I would like to hand over to Ricard Bucks, Maria Claudia Bodino, and Xavier Rodier to conclude this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. Before to give the floor to Maria Claudia and Ricard, just thank you very much for attending this meeting. It's very impressive. We are very numerous to expected information about this call and about the Cultural Heritage Cloud. So I'm very enthusiastic for the next steps for this work. And for this longer journey. There is still a lot of questions. Of course, we have all registered, and we will update our FAQ on the ECOS website with a summary on this to the question by group and so on. There is also a lot of questions dedicated to the Commission about the call himself. So probably you can also update if there is not already answers to this question, of course, on the FAQ. So thank you very much again. Thank you for all the intervenant. And thank you for the Maria Claudia and Ricard for this webinar. On you, I give you the floor now.
Thank you, Savet. Thanks a lot. From our side, I would say that all the questions that have not been answered, specifically the one for the Commission, please leverage the NCP, the national contact points that are there really to answer your questions. So feel free to reach out and to ask for additional information in case they are not answered. From my side, again, a big thanks also to our colleague Esther. She was helping a lot in organizing all these webinar, and thanks a lot, colleagues from ECOS. Ricard, if you want to say some few words at the end.
I'm repeating what you said, Maria Claudia. I'm very happy that we could organize this webinar. A great thanks to both Esther and the ECOS team to make this possible. I'm also very happy to see such an engaged audience here, so many good questions. And I know that we are struggling to answer clearly to all the questions. I hope what is clear from this webinar is the great opportunities involved in taking part in applications under this call topic, also some of the major challenges that we have helped maybe a little bit to guide you in order to how you can think of these challenges. We are not here to provide solutions, but hopefully we have helped a little bit to clarify the situation, how you can think, how you can approach these challenges. And as Maria Claudia said, there are resources at your disposal. The natural contact points are super important. There are also previously recorded webinars that we have held that you can refer to. There is the so-called research inquiry service. If you have a question that you want to pose and you want to have a clear answer by the Commission, you could submit it on the research inquiry service available on the funding and tenders portal, and you will receive a written answer to your question. With this, Thanks a lot for your engagement and good luck with your applications.